Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dave here, Go Gamers, and today we got this Xbox Series X where it's not showing any video output. We're just getting a blank screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our repair bench and look at it to see exactly what's going on. Now, I want to let you guys know, just because this is receiving a blank or black screen doesn't always means it's the HDMI port. Sometimes it could be the HDMI port, the ESD diode pack, the HDMI retimer, or sometimes also the SSD. So let's go over to the repair bench. I'm going to show you guys how to be able to properly diagnose to see why your console isn't showing any video, and we're going to get this one fixed in this video. So let's go to the repair bench and see exactly what we got going on. All right, guys, so as you can see, we have the Xbox Series X. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some power to it, and I'm going to put my HDMI video cord in here. And the HDMI port looks like it's in great condition, right? So I'm going to definitely assume that it's definitely not HDMI port. Now, what you want to do to diagnose if your HDMI port looks fine, you want to be able to see if you could get this into safe mode. If it does the beeps and goes into safe mode, it's definitely something to do on the HDMI line. If it doesn't do the beeps and doesn't go into safe mode, it's the SSD. So what we're going to do is hold down the sync button, the eject button, and press the power button while continuously to hold down the eject and sync button. It did the beep. As you can hear, we heard the first beep, but I don't believe I heard the second beep. Okay, so from what I hear, it definitely went into safe mode. So when you hear that first initial beep, right when you press the power button, you hear the ding. If you hear the second ding, then it goes into safe mode. So it's definitely something on the HDMI line. Now the HDMI port, from as far as I can see, looks pretty good. So I don't know. I don't suspect there being anything wrong with it, as you can see right here. But you really don't know until you know. Let me get this to zoom in. So hopefully you guys can see that the pins all look good and all look correct. But we are going to get this ticket down to the motherboard, see exactly what's going on, and try to get this fixed. So let's get started. All right, so we're over top observing the HDMI port to see if we see anything broken. Everything looks good on the HDMI port. Let's see. No wiggling. Everything looks solid. And even looking inside of the HDMI port, it looks great. HDMI port looks good. Typically, I see with these issues, a lot of time it's the ESD diode pack. So I'm going to run some tests around it to see if I can see any obvious shorts. So I'm going to put my black probe. So this is what I'm going to use right here. I'll show you guys. I'm going to I got my multimeter. I'm going to put my black probe on ground over here. And I'm going to put my red probe around to test it out, see what we got going on. All right, multimeter is in continuity mode. There's no obvious shorts coming from the ESD diode pack. But honestly, that usually is typical. I rarely see any shorts come from that. All right, guys, so here is our HDMI retimer chip. It is an MB7N chip. These chips typically don't go out. I'll show you the issue that is most common. Usually most common is this diode pack right here. This is what's known as the ESD diode pack. Let me actually readjust this. So this is where our issue is more than likely stemming from right here. I'll be honest, I've never seen it to where I will actually receive a short or anything from it. When this thing goes out, it would just go out. So if I test right here, there's no short, no short, no short, nothing, nothing. I mean, I receive nothing on anything right here. And it's usually common with dealing with that. So yeah, it's just always that. I was actually the first person who figured this out, I believe, within 2 to 3 months of the Xbox Series X first coming out. I received a similar issue like this, and I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. So I've done a repair like this before. Now, if it's not the ESD diode pack and it is a retimer, that will actually be the first time I actually receive a busted HDMI retimer on an Xbox Series, because I just have not been through that before. But what we're going to do is we're going to bridge these connections across. So I'm going to get my fume extraction going. Let's pop some of this Amtech Flux on there. Everything that I use in my videos, links down below in the description if you want to use it yourself. So I have my heat wand going. I have it set at 500, 4.5 airflow. And all we're going to do is just get this chip lifted off the board. All right, so we have that removed. And now let's get started with getting these connections bridged. All right, so I have my diagram up, and I'm going to look at this diagram at the same time while I bridge these connections. What I'm doing is, actually I'm going to apply a little bit more flux. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some low melt solder on here. Then I'm going to go in with my desolder braid, clean it up, and we're going to put fresh new solder on everything just to make sure we have good connections on everything. So let's get that done. All right, now what I'm going to start doing is start getting everything ready, and I'm going to start bridging all the connections together with my 34 AWG copper wire. It's insulated as well. I'm just going to go in here, and we are going to start getting everything connected together. So let's get that done. All right, I have all 5 of my lines up. Let's go ahead and make sure we have solid connections. First off, I want to make sure this one right here is good. I'm going to make sure there's no cross. There's no cross. I'm getting continuity. I have my multimeter in continuity mode, by the way. And I shaved off a little bit of part right here just to make sure I'm getting continuity from right here and here. Make sure I'm not getting anything from ground, which I am not. That one I am receiving just fine. I'll make sure there's no cross over here. And everything appears to be just fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my solder mask. I'm just going to go around and cover this up, and then I'm going to take my black light, go over everything just to make everything everything stays protected. So All right, so we are all good. I tested everything out, put my solder masking on. Don't need a lot because I don't want to cover everything over here and just have it look absolutely crazy. But this is good enough just to be able to protect our solder points, hold everything down. Everything is testing out just fine. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to put everything back together, make sure everything still works. If it doesn't work, on an off chance that if it is something else, then we'll just move on to the next scene and we'll just start testing out or replacing the HDMI retimer if it is that. So let's get this put partially back together so we can get this tested out. All right, guys, so I fully put back together the Xbox Series. It's actually the next day. So let's go ahead, let's test it out and make sure everything is good. If it doesn't work, then yeah, I would be upset because I fully put this thing back together and I would definitely have a price to pay. I'm gonna power it on. Let's go over to the screen. And bam, there we go. That was from bridging the ESD diode pack on the motherboard. Yep. We are good to go. So as you can see, it's powered on. Fan is spinning and turning. And everything is good to go on this one. All right, guys, so that is it for today's video. If this video did help you guys out, please make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. If you are interested in getting your game console repaired, go to gogamers.com/repair. You can ship it in to me. I'll get it repaired for you and ship it right back out. But besides that, I hope to see you guys on the next video. Make sure you're going ahead, leave a like. If you have any questions, leave it down below in the comment section. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See ya.